One. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Driving My Mind podcast. Thank you again for tuning in for another week in review. And today we're going to talk about driving excitement, specifically what gets you excited about cars and how do you participate in it. Okay, we already know you're a car fanatic. All right, you read Motor Trend every other day. You've read every single fact and fun article about your Porsche 911 or your Skylines and your Civics. So we know you're a car nut. Now, how do you actually participate in the community? We've kind of talked and dabbled here and there about my various takes and exploits where you can find on Your Ride and I, my YouTube channel. But for those that are wondering what are some options out there, I'm going to give you my perspective and what I've seen in my mind of how people kind of participate within the car community. I've already given you hints on like how to get yourself involved in it, but here are kind of like your generalities when it comes to how you explore it, how you get yourself into, and how you find your niche. Because you want to be surrounded with kind of like-minded people when you're in the community. Because if, let's say you're into track driving, but you're stuck with a bunch of cars and coffee people, you're not going to maybe see eye to eye in a lot of things. Maybe you're not going to learn as much, or the knowledge you're looking for or seeking isn't going to be kind of there for you. So I'm here to kind of navigate and make you ponder what it is to kind of get yourself involved in the community and find your niche so you can have a good time with the knowledge you've developed with your ride, right? So let's go straight into it. Again, I hope everyone's enjoying your summer break. I've just been working, so this is a one time I've been doing summer school. I haven't done summer school in a long time, but it's going well. It truly is still a break, and it keeps your schedule going. If anyone's ever taken a long vacation and your sleep schedule gets messed up, your routine gets messed up, I would say with at least summer school, even for the kiddos, it keeps us going in the same routine, keeps avoiding we call it in education, the summer slide, right? You don't want to, you've gained all this knowledge, you've gained all this growth in your previous grade level, and then in the summertime when your brain just kind of shuts off or goes into limp mode, like some of you Beamer guys know, you end up not being able to retain and keep a lot of information. So that's what I've been doing, but I'm hoping to catch you guys at the next few car meets. I did USPSA yesterday, so sometime my second and fourth Sundays of every month, I'm always out and about out at Paula Shooting Range. So, but any other time, try to look for me and catch me. All right, here we go. Again, you're already a car nut. You have books on the history of Honda, everything about everything with the Type R, where it started, the various models, the engine, the K series engine it had, the B series, you know it all, right? But how do you get yourself involved specifically? And I've, of course, me and my categories, I've narrowed it down to 4 major categories. Let's start with number 1, and you kind of heard me talk about track driving. So the different types of track driving. You have full-on SCCA. You're going to have the different classes. You're going to have rules and modifications on how you're actually going to have to adhere to in terms of your build. You have some of the circuit, the oval driving, which we actually have locally here in the Inland Empire. One of our buddies does it, and he got like some old Chevy Cobalt, but he built it to the exact specification for oval racing, and he does it, and he loves it, man. He's even placed in a couple of top 3 spots. But you got your oval racing, you have your auto crossing, which I know I've seen from time to time at the Storm Stadium in Lake Elsinore. And you have your drag racing, which is getting harder and harder to find. I think Irwindale, right, still has that for us. And then your drifting events, your sanctioned ones, and we'll get to that in a sec. But I would definitely say if you're into actual track driving, you're going to need a budget. Please budget yourself because tires are expensive. You're going to need a budget. You're going to need to know what kind of class that you're going to be running in. And just like Savage Geese would always say, especially if you are going to visit track driving, you're going to need tires, you're going to need brake fluid, and you're going to need suspension. If you focus on those, worry about the power later, and just really get intimate with your car, you're going to be a more successful and more authentic track driver with your car, and grow more exponentially than you would someone just always adding power and trying to always chase and chase and chase times, rather than really getting with the car, knowing its limit, trying to push its limit until you realize, okay, now I need the power, right? And I would say autocross is probably going to be the cheapest and easiest way to get into it. And you can buy some dedicated wheel tire packages, and get some good brake pads, brake fluid, and go to, just swap it out that weekend and go to the track, go to the autocross. And, you're not going to reach excessive speeds of more than, 40, 50 miles per hour, because again, it's a very technical, very low to somewhat mid speed. And you're going to really, really learn the limits of your car. And I would definitely say autocross, this is stuff I looked up, briefly now, but when I was growing up in high school, this is what I wanted to do. I was all about this. But unfortunately, just like many dreams of mine, they get crushed when the burden of schooling and college and money comes into play. But definitely autocross is the number one place, in my opinion, to get started. And you can get started in the car you drive now. You have a Honda Civic Si? Go drive right into it, right? You can get a beater car. Just get any kind of tuner platform and dive into it, and you'll be pleasantly surprised how much fun you can have for relatively cheap price. And that's what I say, start immediately with your budget. And drifting is probably the most expensive one. That's the one that even I've had experience with. And I can tell you this much, like between, getting a friend to do your alignment, tires, lasting, one or two events, having to get your differential welded, or, getting a legit two-way, it's like drifting can get really expensive, and it taxes your car because you're going over the limit, right? You're going, 11 tenths, right? I mean, your car is literally breaking traction, or you're trying to slide from corner to corner, and it's the most taxing on your vehicle. But I would say it's probably the most fun and the best way to learn how to monkey around. So drifting is definitely one that if you want to get into, if you have a higher budget, do it. And I know the platforms are really, really tough to find. I think I would say right now getting a 350Z is probably the easiest thing. Back in my day, it was a 240SX, and that's why I still have it. So definitely, I would say that's where you're at. SCCA, autocross, drag, drift, the circuit racing, the oval racing, any of that nature. But you got to do an incredible amount of research. And this is what I appreciate with Toyota, is when you purchase a GR86, you get that opportunity to get that 1-year membership to a driving club. I think it's SCCA. And I would say take that opportunity. I mean, that GR86, they're promoting the youth to, incorporate this into part of their lives, even if it's just for like 1 or 2 times a year. I think that's awesome. And maybe it inspires you to go to a driving school, which I've been craving on going to, an actual legit driving school, or, even the Lexus driver events, things of that nature. And I'm sure that there's plenty others around, but look into a driving school if you're going to get into track driving, or seriously, I mean, any kind of driving. That could be a whole nother podcasting topic for next time. All right, moving on. For better or for worse, the underground scene. And I say that, with all the precautionary measures, you're going to be diving into the more illegal stuff. You're going to be with maybe some more unfavorable characters. But I would say that the underground scene has led many of these companies to really better their R&D and given us the type of power and knowing the car's limits quicker than if everyone were going legit. And when I say underground scene, we're talking about those illegal street pulls. We're talking about those freeway runs, 50 to 150 dog. And being able to know, how your car builds power and what kind of mods are needed. The bigger turbos, the more engine oil cooling, your traction and your tires. Again, those freeway runners and freeway pullers, they legit put some time and effort into their setups, and I know it comes with the illegal, betting and perhaps getting run up on, but I really strongly feel that the underground scene has led to a proliferation of these amazing parts and aftermarket that's available for people to pick up on. You have your drag digs, and that's so taxing on your car, but that develops drivers. Instead of waiting for Irwindale Weekly to go out to the middle of nowhere and do some pulls, and you make the stakes higher when you do add betting and all that, and I highly discourage that. Please please stay away from that, because what's the thing that they always say on IG or Reddit? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? You're going to end up in bad shape one way or another, but that is definitely an option, that underground scene. And for more technical, like, street drifting, kind of like that Manji, I don't know how to say it, but Manji, that side to side street drifting in a big kind of intersection. Again, I pray to God no one's actually doing this seriously, but as I've mentioned before with Do Not Monetize, if you haven't listened to that podcast, the monetizing street takeovers, you see a lot of that, and it develops people and it develops giant crowds into appreciating the automotive culture. So yes, we need to be against it. But we need to be those that reach out to the community and say, hey, instead of doing this, why don't you come in and do something legit? So the underground scene, it's there. It's going to continue to be there. But how we pull those people that actually do have talent into going legit, I feel is what's going to be best. And the makers of these aftermarket products can continue to support and build strong stuff when they kind of get out of the underground scene and having these people R&D their stuff and prototype their stuff. All right, down to 2. Let's go. This is me. You guys know me, the cars and coffee scene, right? And these are the people that they love their ride, they detail their ride, and they want others to appreciate and see their ride for what it is. I like to take the S2000 out a little more than the Lexus, because I feel like people don't really appreciate the Lexus unless you're like a Lexus head. So I take the S2000 out, and you just see so many people behind that car and behind the history and what that car means for a lot of people. And so I like to keep it as a clean and preserved example, so that other people can enjoy it. And I think that's what the chief engineer even said, is that he wants people to drive and appreciate the S2000 for what it is and get people to experience it, and I'm always happy when I can take if the car's dirty and it's like, let's go for that mountain drive, and I'll actually take it out on a mountain drive with a passenger, just for them to experience that open top, high revving, extremely capable car. And that's where that cars and coffee vibe in me comes out. You take it to your local events, right? That's how my YouTube channel is all about, is the local events, and seeing the local meets and the different organizers host a lot of their stuff. That's where that's where I find my excitement. I truly do like seeing my car and other people's cars and other people's inspiration. And some people, don't really dig my videos, and that's totally okay. Like, there's so much content out there on YouTube with regards to, car reviews and car monologues and different ways your car can open its trunk, or you can find something. But for me, I appreciate the cars and coffee scene, and I like to go see other people's car. And most importantly, I love talking to you guys in my interviews. And then lastly, I just like to watch and admire others. Like I said, the others' inspiration and for their builds and what they look for in their ride, and where they get started. And don't get me wrong, dude, I've seen some builds where it's kind of like, what in the world were you thinking? I would never say that to them, but I also see other people. It's like, wow, I was very, very impressed. Just at Lethal Culture's outlet, when I saw that Civic Type R with the Group M intake, dude, I was just like, I had to do like a triple take on that car. I was looking for the owner and I couldn't find him. But dude, that's what quote unquote gets me off, right? Is the fact that I can see a person's build and I can see the amount of work and detail and attention that they put into their car, their high quality, no knockoff parts. When I saw that Group M intake, I was like, this is my man. This is my homie too. Like, that's what it's all about. And that's where I get my excitement. You can see me. I'm already getting happy and enthusiased, And last but not least, to wrap this up, we have the car collector. And you guys know how I feel about car collectors. I do feel like they're punishing most normal people. It's hurting the car community. But we have to also accept them and deal with them, especially now as we transition to electrification. There's going to be so many of these cars that we thought were whatever cars. They turn out to be freaking gems 10, 15 years from now. And I think it was Savage Geese that was saying, like, the time is now. I may have been Doug DeMuro. I'm not too sure, but like, the time is now. Like, these cars are going away. I think it is Doug DeMuro. The Dodge Charger, Scatty Patties and Hellcats, they're going away. Like, they're not ever coming back, right? Your BMW M3s with a manual transmission, they are going away. Like, the ZF autos they have in them now are better than the freaking dual clutch and manual transmissions. And the manual M3 is going away. We already rarely see two-seater sports cars, affordable two-seater sports cars. What, the GR86? The Toyota Supra? Again, and that's only Japanese. But like, these cars are going away. Now is the time to get them, collect them, keep them, love them. And in 20 or 30 years, you're going to be like, yeah. And the car collector could be, someone that's obsessive, that keeps their ride, that preserves it, kind of like me. Or is the person that likes to experience everything. You all have that one friend who like buys something and the next year he has something else, and the next year he has something else, and the next year he has something else. And the next year, the little Wayne's World there, right? But, you have that one guy that goes through cars like he goes through the McDonald's Happy Meal menu, okay? My buddy Kenny from years ago, he had a silver S2000. He had a Infiniti G35. He had the Toyota MR2, the SW20. He had a freaking H2 Hummer, for God's sakes. Like, dude, this guy had everything, and he would change cars literally like every 9 to 12 months. It was freaking hilarious. But you may have someone that's a car collector in that sense. They use it, they abuse it, and they move on from it. So you can have that obsessive person that keeps, like my S2000, that's going to keep it for a very, very, very long time, if not forever. Or you're going to have a person that just wants to experience, love, adore, trash, drive, and move on. So these are my 4 categories. Let me know what you think. Again, what gives you your driving excitement? You're already a lover. You maybe want to get into track driving. Maybe you want to check out the underground scene for a while, but please do get out of that. Maybe you're the cars and coffee type, or maybe you're the collector. What are you? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Reach out to me. Try to find me whenever I'm at one of these local car events. And thank you guys so much for listening. Please continue to drive your mind. Stay positive. Keep the underground ratchet stuff at home, even though you know I love it. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.